Hello, hello, Regis Kilvin is the name, and Heroes of the Storm is the game. Today I'm going to be running you through my ultimate Kael'Thas build. This is a default top build for Kael'Thas. This is what you'll see most players playing most of the time, and it will suit your needs in 95% of games. You should rarely need to deviate from this build too far as a Kael'Thas player. So the general strategy of this build is really quite simple. It's making you the ultimate team fight damage dealer. You're going to have a lot of area of effect abilities that allow you to add up tons of damage against the enemy team, making you a real threat in any situation, but it doesn't sacrifice survivability. There are a couple different talents here that give you that extra survivability you'll need to stay alive and impact the enemy team for even longer. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the talents. I'm going to run through them all real quickly before going into more detail. Level 1, it's Mana Addict. Level 4, Nether Wind. Level 7, Fission Bomb. Level 10, Phoenix. Level 13, Chain Bomb. Level 16, Arcane Barrier. And finally, at level 20, Bolt of the Storm. So now let's talk about each of the individual talents, starting at level 1 with Mana Addict. This allows you to gather Reaching Globes to increase the maximum mana by 15 anytime that you pick one up. Now, the thing about this talent is that as Kael'Thas, it's nice to have extra mana, but it's really not all that vital all that often. There are ways to reduce your mana cost with your trait and W ability, making it free to cast. And in general, Kael'Thas just isn't a mana drain. But this talent is going to set us up for a synergy all the way at level 16 with Arcane Barrier, which we'll talk about in more detail later. So it's important to get this rolling. And the alternatives at this tier, Fel Infusion can do work. It's not too bad in certain situations where you maybe don't have a healer in your lane or just need that extra survivability. But Mana Addict really offers survivability late game and just additional utility by increasing your mana pool. So it's very nice to have. At level 4, ever since Gathering Power was nerfed pretty significantly, it got much worse for Kael'Thas. It just takes too long to impact games and it's too risky. But that opened up Netherwind as a selection, which is still very, very good. This allows your E to have increased range and speed by 30%. So you can see the tornado moves very fast and very, very far. It's kind of actually ridiculous how far you can hit people with this stun. It is one of the better stuns in the game in my mind. And when it has this kind of range, you can do crazy things with it, especially if you upgrade it with your trait and you're able to hit 3 people along the path of the stun. That's a huge advantage for locking down kills or saving yourself if you get jumped on by the enemy melee. So Netherwind is a fantastic aggressive talent to help you secure kills, but also good defensively, and that's kind of what this build is all about, maximizing your teamfight utility. At level 7, we're going to go with Fission Bomb. This is where Kael'Thas starts to take shape, and you can kind of see his potential as a living bomb assassin. Fission Bomb increases living bomb's explosion radius and damage dealt by 30%. And that is another talent that's going to be important as we get into the later levels to synergize with Chain Bomb. But 30% damage is not bad at all. It's pretty significant. In fact, when this damage is 500, so 30% of that, right, is going to be another 150 extra damage, which is pretty nice at level 20. It's nothing to scoff at. But really the important part is the radius. Anytime this blows up, it's going to hit people next to it even farther away. So that is going to help us spread the bomb and do additional damage later on in the game. So you may not see the benefits of this right away, but at level 13 it makes Kael'Thas just a total crazy hero. At level 10, we're going to go with Phoenix. Phoenix, you just throw on the ground here. You've seen it before. It's the more reliable of the two ultimates. It is consistent. It has a very short cooldown of 40 seconds compared to the slightly longer 50-second cooldown of Pyroblast. But Phoenix can just do so many things so well. It can help you push lanes and beat on forts if you need it to. It can be used as a zoning tool to kind of make enemies walk around it or painfully walk through it. Pyroblast has far more limited utility and you can't use it quite as often, So in general, Phoenix is going to be your top choice just because it gives you so much extra flexibility. And we want to focus on area of effect damage with this build because that's what our Chain Bomb's really going to be all about. That's what our Flame Strike, of course, is about. So being able to just totally impact anything in a giant zone in a team fight is really significant. At level 13, we're going to go with Chain Bomb. This is where Kael'Thas really starts to shine. Living Bomb's explosion applies Living Bomb to the 3 closest enemies not already affected by it, and it prefers heroes. So we can see this in action. Anytime your Living Bomb blows up and somebody is standing nearby, they're also going to get a Living Bomb, meaning it just chains damage like crazy. Watch these 3 minions. See, now they also get a Living Bomb, and they killed each other for free off that one attack. So you can see just how much even one Living Bomb does. And when you're able to cast multiples, thanks to your trait, on multiple heroes, and the enemy team is running around in big circles, anytime it's chaotic or hectic, your Living Bomb is going to do insane amounts of work. So you can see it here. I didn't mess it up, but just have fun with the cooldowns turned off and watch all the pretty explosions doing tons of damage. So if enemy teams aren't conscious of their positioning and watching for that Living Bomb constantly, your damage charts will just go insane. Your damage will be through the roof because you'll just be passing bombs along like crazy. And sometimes you can even use it as a sort of zoning tool. If there's like a Jaina who steps into range and you drop a Living Bomb on her, she might feel compelled not to run back into her healer or back into her back line, meaning she either kind of stalls out front and allowing your team to get the kill, or maybe you hit her with a stun. So the danger of Living Bomb isn't just in the damage itself, it's in the way you can change the enemy team's behavior by knowing that they actually have that Living Bomb applied to them. So Chain Bomb is what really opens up that and makes Kael'Thas the top tier assassin that he is. At level 16, we're going to go with Arcane Barrier. This is a new ability that allows you to gain a shield equal to 200% of your maximum mana for 6 seconds. So it turns your mana bar into a shield. You can see our shield there. It took our health up by 700 points here. So pretty significant. Actually more than 700, 1400 points, excuse me. Double our mana. So you can see why the level 1 talent Mana Addict, which increases your maximum mana by 15, becomes so important at level 16. Basically, every globe you pick up is an additional 30 points of health at level 16 whenever you pop this shield. So if you get 10 globes even, that's an extra 300 points of health when the shield is active. Now, of course, the shield's duration is only 6 seconds. It's not insane or anything. But when a Zeratul dives on you or that Nova Orbital Strike's about to drop on top of your head, popping the shield can be the difference between life and death. It can also just make enemies less likely to attack you by dissuading. If you hit that shield 2 or 3 times in a row and they know they're not going to be able to finish you off with their burst damage, they might go for someone else who's more susceptible, giving you more time to drop Phoenixes and stuns and Living Bomb. So, again, it works as a deterrent and a direct mitigation of damage. Fantastic talent. It's what Kael'Thas needs to really thrive in late-game team fights. And finally, at level 20 is another survivability talent. This is Bolt of the Storm, 70-second cooldowns. This allows you to teleport to a location. I wouldn't advise doing that, but thankfully we have cooldowns turned off. So you can see the range here on Bolt of the Storm. This is yet another way for Kael'Thas to avoid damage when necessary. It can be used offensively from time to time if you absolutely know that you can secure a kill, but traditionally you're going to want to use this in a defensive way to avoid enemy aggression and create distance between yourself and somebody who is absolutely trying to blow you up. You can do cool stuff like combo it with your stun and back off and still have that long range stun that's affecting people. You can use your shield if you still need help. You can use Bolt of the Storm to do things like that. Run across the forest to get away. Use walls to your advantage. So it's just another level of survivability. You have so much damage capability just by default with this build, thanks to Fission Bomb and Chain Bomb talents, that it's really okay to spend the rest of your 4 talents on defense. You're not going to need to squeeze out the extra damage that something like Arcane Power would offer you or Gathering Power might offer you. It's okay to sacrifice those offensive talents in favor of more defensive-oriented ones. Because here's the thing, to do damage right, you have to be alive. If you're not alive, you're not hitting anyone. And the longer Kael'Thas is in a fight, really, the more advantageous he can be. Because his damage is almost sustained in a way. He just keeps dropping bombs over and over again, and he can get multiple Phoenixes off in one fight. So he can really do a lot the longer you're alive and the more you're around. Since he is pretty efficient. He's not all relying on 1 or 2 long cooldown abilities. So that's it for the ultimate Kael'Thas build. This one will meet your needs almost every game. It's a nice fine balance between doing tons of damage and topping the charts while minimizing your deaths and being a huge nuisance to the enemy team. If you learn to play Kael'Thas well with this build, you will start to win more games. He is absolutely a top tier assassin right now, and this build is a big part of the reason why. Go out there and living bomb some people, chain bomb some people, drop some Phoenixes on their heads, and have fun while doing it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, game on.